Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make the very simplest of white bread loaves. And for this I'm going to use plain flour. Well, this is a recipe that certainly should work for almost anybody, because there's absolutely no kneading involved whatsoever. And it doesn't take very long. It takes about 2 hours from start to finish. So we'll go on to the ingredients. And for the ingredients I have 400 grams of plain flour. I think you could use bread flour, but I'm using plain flour. And I should say that I saw this recipe on a YouTube video, and I will put a link to that below this video as well. That's a video from about 6 years ago or so. And it looks so simple. So that's my 400 grams of flour, which I think is 2 2/3 cups based on a 250 milliliter cup scooping out 150 grams of flour. I would recommend that you weigh the flour. That's by far the easiest way of doing things. 400 grams incidentally works out at about 14 ounces, I think. So I have 300 milliliters of lukewarm water, and that is just lukewarm. I have 2 teaspoons, 8 grams of active dry yeast. That's about a packet of active dry yeast. 3 teaspoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. And the first thing I'm going to do is to pour about 50 milliliters of water into my yeast, and I'm just going to leave that to start to activate for 10 to 15 minutes until it's gone nice and frothy. So as you can see, the yeast has frothed up quite nicely, so I'm going to pour that into a well in the middle of my flour, and I'm going to pour the remaining water in as well. And then I'm going to put the sugar in and the salt. And stir it around and get everything combined. I'm scraping the side of the bowl just to get the flour off there. And then I'm simply going to cover that and leave it in a warm place for about an hour or until it's doubled in size. And so once it's doubled in size, I'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. I've let the dough prove for about an hour and it's more than doubled in size, so we'll go on to the next step. So this is what the dough looks like, and I'm going to tip this out onto a quite heavily floured surface, like that. And I'm going to take some more flour and sprinkle it over the top. I'm going to pat it down. Keep my hands floured, like that. And then I'm going to fold it over on itself a few times. And I'm going to put that into a 2-pound loaf tin, which I have greased and floured. I'm going to press it down. Now 2-pound loaf tins come in different shapes and sizes. Some are bigger than others, so depending on the actual dimensions of your tin, it will work slightly differently. So with that in there like that, I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to make some deep cuts into it. Like that. It's still very sticky, as you can see. And then I'm going to take some more flour and sprinkle that over the top, like that. And I'm going to put it into a warm place again, cover it with a towel, and I'm going to allow it to rise until it's come up above the top of the pan. And again, that's going to take 30 minutes perhaps. If you're using a deeper pan, it may not come all the way up, but for mine it should come up to just over the top. And while that's happening, I'm going to preheat my oven to 230 Celsius. That's 210 Celsius with a fan, 450 Fahrenheit. And that will be ready to go into the oven. So I'll come back when this has risen and we'll put it in the oven. So as you can see, my dough is just above the tin now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into the oven and I'm going to bake it for 25 to 30 minutes until it's gone nice and crusty on the top, and when I take it out of the tin it sounds hollow when I tap it. I'll also test it with my internal thermometer as well. Then I'll let it cool down and I'll come back and show you the results. I baked this quick and easy white bread for 30 minutes and then I tapped the bottom and it sounded hollow. I tested the internal temperature and it was up at 99°C, which is about 210 Fahrenheit. So that's telling me that it's sort of baked through. So I've taken it out and I've allowed it to cool down, and I've also sliced some. So this is what it looks like. It has a nice airy texture, as you can see, and baked all the way through. So I'm going to have a taste of this. This is still a bit warm. I shouldn't really cut it while it's warm, but I'll have a taste of it. It's obviously just plain white bread, but it has a nice chewy texture, which is what I like, and it does have some flavour. I can actually taste just a little bit of the yeast, which again I like. I do think that you could bake this, make this with slightly less yeast, but leave it for longer to prove each time, and again until it's doubled in size and until it's risen above the pan. It will do that even with less yeast. It will just take longer. Now this recipe, the main reason I did it was because there's a lady called Henrietta who watches my videos, and she's always saying that she's no good at making bread. And when I saw this recipe originally, I thought, well, that's very simple. I'm sure because there's no kneading involved, anybody could make it, so maybe Henrietta will have a go at this one. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for this recipe, and I'll also put a link below the video, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.